Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network.
All right. Social media best practices. Shall we begin, my friend? Are you ready to rock?
Let us do it.
Everybody, welcome Corey Michael. He's going to be walking us through social media best practices today. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll make sure and follow up with you. Got a marketing strategy? Corey, do we have marketing strategy? I mean, or are we just throwing things against the wall? What's going on?
I heard somebody describe it to me the other day that their marketing strategy is literally like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. And, you know, the thing is, that's not really a bad idea, which sounds kind of funny in some ways because marketing is seriously just a series of experiments. Nothing works forever. Everything changes always. And so what you got to do is find the right kind of spaghetti to stick to the wall. And
all right,
it works. But you got to have a strategy for sure in order to succeed across all of marketing, not just social media stuff, but across all marketing efforts. You got to have something in place that's going to guide you because otherwise you can get lost in the weeds. There's so many voices out there, so many gurus, right? Self-proclaimed gurus, so many people saying you should do this and this and this that it can get really noisy. So if you have a strategy and you stick to it, no matter what the kind of like with stocks, no matter what the economy's doing, don't sell until it's right. Just stick through it. It's going to level out. This is not financial advice. This is just more of an observation. But with marketing, it's the same thing. You gotta stick to your plan and things begin to shake out as you go.
Yeah, I mean, at least in the beginning, it's good to experiment and kind of get your bearings and learn the platforms and different things. But at some point, you got to know where your target is and where you're going and what you're trying to do. And that's what I love about your way of training is you're able to help so many with just a basic strategy that doesn't take 150 hours at a time to implement. I mean, you
149.
just a few less than that. You know, maybe 140 minutes, but kind of get it going. But really appreciate you walking us through not only roadmaps and different things with blueprints, but actual social media strategy. So as you know, the blueprint we all cover the first Tuesday of every month. So if you'd like more information about branding, visibility, promotion, nurturing, we even have our special guest Vicky of Visibility Vicky on the training today. So she'll probably have some good questions and answers and thoughts around those kind of things. But Corey, why is clarity, creativity, and consistency so important? Why is this included in our training?
Yeah, well, let's get right into this then. So the framework that we just showed you and that most of you on this call and watching are potentially aware of is that blueprint, and the branding aspect is really kind of the linchpin to everything else that you do, because you could be advertising, you can be getting things out there, but if ultimately you don't know who you are or what your kind of superpower is, or you are just trying to figure all of that out, it's going to be a lot harder to get those clients to commit in the long run. So a big piece of even what we're talking about today, we're going to just briefly, just one slide for each piece of that framework talk, because they all undergird what we're talking about here. So Tim, you can, this is just a list of social media platforms. We're going to talk more about this later. You can move on. But the 3 C's of branding that we had a second ago, clarity, creativity, and consistency. This is all about refining how you are doing your messaging. Do you have clarity when you are putting it out there, who you are, what you do? Is there a creative nature to it? Or do you look like everybody else? You want to stand out from the crowd. And then consistency, that rhythm of execution, I think is the best way to say it, where it consistently covers a couple different ways. One, do you sound the same across all the platforms? Do you have a consistent voice? But then the second thing is, do you have some kind of consistency in posting, right? So we're talking about social media here specifically today. Do you at least post once a month? Is that your rhythm of execution? Hopefully it's a little bit more than that. Hopefully it's at least once a week. But having some kind of flow will help you to be persistent, help you build some structure. So these are really these 3 C's are really important to the branding process. Then there's a promotional side, right? So I want to just kind of dispel something real quick here is social media in and of itself is not a sales platform. It is a long-term strategy marketing effort. And it is for building awareness. It is for having conversations with people. And it is a great place to follow this. We call this the ICE guideline because we like acronyms here with Giver Marketing. But this is a way to have these conversations. It's to inform people, again, who you are, what you do, get your message out there, get your products out there. But then you want to have a way to get them to connect with you. That's the call to action. What are they doing, or what can they do to learn more about you, to buy your product, to be able to speak with somebody, whatever it is? You want to make those things clear and invite people into that conversation with you, which is the engage side of it. That's the purpose of social media, ladies and gentlemen. It is called social for a reason. It is to be social with folks. And right in line with all of that is when you are now having these conversations with people, with your potential customers and clients, and even ones that are current clients that are commenting and liking and sharing your posts, which we're going to talk more about that later. You want to nurture these, right? You want to have ongoing relationship with these people. And so we have this thing that we call the 7 marketing moments. It's nothing magical, nothing fancy. It is just the way that we have found gives us a little structure in remembering how to and remembering to follow up with people with, as you can read there, introductions, emails, social media messages, giving something of value, inviting people somewhere, personal notes, phone call. We go over this more in depth in our blueprint training, but just wanted to give you a snapshot of some ideas on ways you can connect with folks. So, as I said, as mentioned a minute ago, you want to not just do social, you want to actually be social. Businesses think in terms of social media like it's a robot a lot, where, okay, I have to do this because it's going to produce this result and beep, boop, beep. That's not how it is. We are human creatures. We are selling to and marketing to human creatures. and so it's important to remember to have the conversation. I'm gonna mention conversation. I challenge somebody, Sabrina, you're on this. See how many times I say conversation today. Because that's really what it is, folks. And if you get nothing else from this training today, before we even really get started into this, is if you can somehow generate conversation with people that are following you online, you're going to win. You're going to create relationships. So let's get into it. Identity and messaging is the first piece, probably one of the most important pieces of a social media strategy. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Tim. There are 3 pieces that we're going to talk about here in figuring out what your identity and your messaging is. The first, probably the most obvious, but maybe not, is to identify your audience, right? Who are you trying to talk to? Who are you trying to have that conversation with? I think that's number 5, Sabrina. Who are you trying to have that dialogue with and be able to engage in this dialogue with them? So a couple questions to ask yourself as you're trying to figure this out. And guys, this is going to help you. If you can figure out who you're trying to talk to online, this will help you refine your target audience in every other area of your business. Because maybe it's been too many people in too many places. This is going to help you kind of refine that process. So what is your ideal customer's biggest pain point you're trying to solve? That's the easiest way. What pain point are you trying to solve? but then also what emotions are you addressing? There's something called the demographic and the psychographic. Demographic is, age, ethnicity, area that they live in. That is a demographic. And there are use cases for your target audience being a specific demographic. But what I like to really highlight is the psychographic, which is how is your ideal customer, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What emotions are they expressing publicly online? What is it that they're feeling in their heart? That's a problem that you can solve. Think about those kinds of things. And then what is it that they ultimately want? Is it they want something external, or do they want something that's more of an internal solution? What is it that they want that you can solve with your particular product and service? So, for example, paint. Okay, if you're a painter and you provide paint that helps people not have to worry about painting their house for 20 plus years. Okay, if that's a particular product that you sell that solves the pain point with people that go, man, I just have really cheap paint and I have to paint every 6 years. That is something that they ultimately want, is something that lasts longer. So think about how that kind of messaging can come through in your social media. Just as a quick little example.
Corey, I love the psycho-emotional tendencies of your audience to be considered.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's if you're writing notes, ladies and gentlemen, the psycho-emotional tendencies of your audience, just absolutely a nugget there.
Psychographic. And I'm going to speak more to that here. In the second really big piece of your identity and messaging is to become a storyteller and not just a service seller. So this is something that I've been actually learning a lot about myself recently, and really diving into being a storyteller. Because if you think about it, if you think about all the movies you like, all the books that you like to read, there's a story that hooks you. And there is a particular formula that is taught out there to writers, to screenwriters, to draw people in. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. I'm just going to highlight 3 little pieces of it for you today. But the first is, how can you position your business as a guide to your people? A mistake that a lot of people make, a lot of businesses make, is they try to make themselves and their business the hero, that you are coming in to save the day for your clients. But really what you want to do is be the guide that shows them how to succeed on their own, right? Teach a man to fish. So let's use the painter example again. You as a painter selling a product that is a 20-year plus product, you are helping your potential customer to feel like, hey, I've got this. I can paint. I don't have to have the frustration of painting multiple times a year. This is great. And so you've shown them the way with your particular product. If you think about Star Wars, Yoda is the guide that helps Luke Skywalker master all of the problems that he's trying to face, right? We have these stories where a guide comes in, shows the way, has the answers, helps the hero, who in this case is actually your customer, to succeed in whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. So maybe if you're an animal trainer and you have services to teach people how to train their dogs. So you're not just training the dogs, you're actually teaching people how to train their dogs. You are helping them win. So to bring this back around to the social media side of it, what kinds of posts and messaging can you create and put out there to position your business as a guide to help people win at whatever it is that they're trying to do in relation to your product or service? You can even think of it as, what's the villain? Is it frustration? And I put what is the villain, not who is the villain, because you don't want to personify somebody. You want to use a frustration. Those emotions that we talked about in the psychographic, those are the villains. Frustration, loneliness, confusion, whatever it may be. Those are the villains. And then how can you help your hero overcome those villains? And then you got these problems, these different kinds of problems, external, internal, philosophical problems. That's a whole other hour of conversation. But just to get your mind going, what are problems that you can solve for people, even in your social media posts. You can post educational things. You can post inspirational things to take people from point A to point B. And Tim, I know I'm getting really meta here, but I just want to show people the power of story that draws people in. And there's a lot that you can do with your messaging.
I know there's some folks popping links in the chat box around StoryBrand, and
that is exactly where I got this from. That I was about to mention is that this is so StoryBrand, Donald Miller. So he's one of my mentors, and where I've gotten a lot of this from. But I love, that's a whole 7-part thing that I didn't want to go into. I just wanted to highlight these 3 areas. But StoryBrand, if you're interested more in this storyteller, not service seller way of messaging, definitely check out StoryBrand. He's got a podcast, he's got a book, he's got a website. It's pretty awesome. But we can go ahead and go to the next slide here, Tim. The third piece is to be human in your messaging. Find your voice. Is it a warm and a casual voice? Is it a professional, you only use particular language kind of voice? What is your voice? Really determine what that is. And honestly, your personality in person is probably a good choice to go with, unless you're abrasive. That might not be the best choice to have for a voice on social media. But you want to make sure that it is unique to you and that you're not trying to be something that you're not. That's very important. Also, avoid insider language. It's really easy for us to get caught up in the language of our industry because we know it so well. But think about the people that you're trying to attract and take yourself out of yourself for a minute, put yourself in your potential customer's shoes and go, does this sound human first? And does this sound like something that I can understand and digest, so I know what it is that they're talking about, that I know what it is that they're trying to help me with? Because when they can understand it, they can engage with it, and they can have that dialogue with you so that you aren't just talking at them, but you're able to have a conversation with them.
I love it. And we have some comments in the chat box around just being yourself, and you be you and be your authentic self. And so those are amazing pieces to consider. What's the 80-20 rule as related to social media, Corey?
Yeah, so we're in the content planning and creation section now. So first of all, it's important to note that as you are developing your content and your messaging and your identity, and you're getting ready to post everything, this 80-20 rule is really important. We've heard it in a lot of different scenarios, but the 80-20 rule in regards to social media is that 80% of what you post on social media should be focusing on engaging your audience, asking the questions, giving them value, inviting people into that dialogue or conversation with you, where only 20% should be directly promotional, salesy, whatever it is, trying to get the sale. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with. They think that social media is where I'm just going to put all my promotion, all my sales, and that's it. So this is a better balance of that 80-20. But then you also have to remember, you actually do need to do that 20%. You do need to actually ask for the sale at some point, or invite people to learn more about your product and service, either by going to your website, giving you a call, whatever it is. It is okay on social media to post promotional. Just don't overdo it.
So both of these have calls to action. It's just that they're slightly different in that one is more conversational and the other one is more transactional.
So if you've ever wondered, how can I come up with content ideas? I know I need to post. I know I need to make these things, but what do I even post about? Well, here's some ways that are less known, but really powerful ways. And I encourage you to take a screenshot or write this down as we're talking. But I just for fun, I called it 5 weird ways to come up with endless content ideas. Okay. And this is really going to help you. So the first thing is to actually join Facebook groups where your ideal customer lives. So if you are, I'm going to use the painter again. If you're a painter, you want to join DIY type Facebook groups or homeowners groups or groups of paint aficionados. And just to be clear, I'm talking paint that's like house painting or the more construction type painting, not just a painter, like an artist painter. That would be a different demographic and psychographic that we're talking about here. But then inside of Facebook groups, they have a little search tool where you can actually search for particular phrases, keywords, different things that will pull up posts that people have made whatever it is that you're looking for. And so a couple of great ways to look for particular things is to type in phrases like, how do I, what do I, why is the, anything related to something that people may be asking regarding your type of product or service. It's a great way to see what actual people are asking. Okay. The second one, this is definitely a weird one, is to browse Amazon and YouTube reviews on products that are related to your industry. So a lot of people post reviews, of products in video form on YouTube, or there's just videos, and the people in the comments section ask questions. There's responses to those. And then on Amazon in different products, people are leaving reviews, right? There's a lot of questions there. You can actually see the kinds of things that people are engaging with and wanting to learn more about. Maybe you do a product highlight that as part of your social media plan and strategy. Maybe you highlight certain products or services, but that's a really great way to know what kinds of things people are asking about in real time related to what you're looking at posting. You can find books on Amazon as well. This is a fun one. And use the look inside feature. If you go to a book, you can look inside and you can actually look at the table of contents and see the different topics that these authors are using. And you don't want to copy them verbatim, but you want to use the topics of their different chapters for ideas on, okay, what are the leaders in the industry talking about that is relevant to their customers that happen to be maybe some of my relevant customers as well. Get ideas from these books that are out there because they're being published and they're helping people. So that's a great place to look. Browse Quora, Quora.com. It is think of it like a massive question and answer forum that literally covers every topic under the sun. You can go on, search keywords, again, related to your industry, your product, your service, and see what kinds of things people are asking about, kinds of discussion. And then the last thing is Answer the Public, which it is. There's no spaces for a reason. It's answerthepublic.com, which actually lets you see real live searches. I'm gonna show you this tool a little bit more in depth in a bit here. Real live searches that people are using Google for. That will give you dozens and dozens and dozens of ideas of things to post about, questions to answer, topics to think about. And these 5 things, ladies and gentlemen, and I do hope that you took a screenshot here, is all related to finding what real people actually want to know. That is the kind of content that we should be posting, not what we think people should know about, because it's not about us. We might be totally overlooking what people are actually wondering when it comes to the type of thing that we do, the product or service that we provide. So this is getting real life feedback that is invaluable for content ideas. Tim, you have any thoughts on all that?
No, I think that some of the tools that you brought to the table over the years, like Answer the Public, and just kind of getting kind of deep within some of these platforms to try to hunt for the right topics is a great idea. I think once you get your top, 5 or 10, then talk to Corey about a strategy that you could build a whole year's worth of content around just by doing these 5 things. Yep. Bringing your list to Corey, and then at that point you have a strategy that you don't even have to think about as much on a day-to-day basis. You already have it planned out. So I love that.
Yeah. And just to put a little teeth to this too, this is something that I've done. I've used a lot of these strategies. I came up with 366 days of content ideas. It took me like 2 hours to do. So this is really a streamlining process to help you with that. There's a number of different kinds of posts that you can make, right? We're going to just briefly cover a few of them and just ideas of categories, I guess you could say. So there's everybody's favorite humorous memes. There are a lot of memes out there. There's tools that you can create your own. You can find ones just by a quick Google search. And these are ways to just kind of engage the funny bone of the people that you are looking at connecting with. There's educational posts, which is or inspirational posts where everybody has a favorite quote or two, right? Or maybe you have really popular for a lot of businesses is to have a motivational Monday where you are posting quotes, inspiration to uplift the followers that you've got that are following you. There's the educational. You can create a little bit lengthier in text educational posts. That's not the ideal, but it is possible to open it up a little bit more to some more words, to some more information, to some more pictures in different ways. So in the examples here, you can see, there's some life insurance 101. There's recycling that shows you here's what you actually recycle. Here's the actual categories. And then that last one is about helping kids eat better, right? And it's used as a bright, colorful picture with a face that is really engaging. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, that is the most engaging type of photo that you can post on social media is real people. Again, realness, genuineness, actual people. Even if it's a stock photo, it is showing a face, and those get engaged with more than any other kind of post do. So educational is a great way to inform your audience of things.
One of the things that I've been thinking about, Corey, is the fact that the statistics are showing that anything living, so a human, an animal, even like plants, and like she's holding some vegetables there, anything living is going to catch your eye as a human. And some say that that's part of the lizard brain or how we're wired or whatever. Yeah. Like doesn't really matter to me as much of the science of it necessarily as the fact that if I'm going to be picking out of 2 or 3 pictures, I probably want to have a human element and an animal or something living in it, because my eyes are going to catch that, right? Is that true?
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And that even gets extended into the video realm, which we'll talk a little bit about as well. Another type of a post that you can make is user-generated content. So, or UGC. This is basically where you are reposting posts, whether it's on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. You're reposting people that are tagging you or commenting or posting a picture that has your product in it. So Starbucks is a great example, right? People post their pumpkin spice lattes while they're sitting outside or whatever, and Starbucks will be tagged in that post, and Starbucks will repost those sometimes. And other companies do the same kind of thing, and they want to show real humans using their product or engaging with their service. That's a great way to post something that isn't just your voice, which is really important, but to actually post what others are saying about you. And tagging you in. That's a really powerful way, because then if they tag you and you tag them, then all their friends are seeing it, and so it kind of extends that message even more. Personal. This is another one. It is okay to be a little personal with your business posts. Again, people connect to people, not to machines or business or social media giants. It is to people. So you as the business owner, it is okay to say, hey, happy birthday to this team member. We really appreciate them. Or Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays from my family to yours, and show a picture of your family and with your kids and your husband or your wife, whoever it is. It's okay to have that personal element. In fact, not only is it okay, it is highly encouraged, because people want to know kind of the behind the scenes, pull back the curtain a little bit, make your business more relatable to folks. If people can connect with you on that personal level, you can build loyalty a lot easier, and people will actually choose you, even if you're more expensive, over other companies if they feel like they have a personal connection to you. So it's okay to get a little personal. Follower fan acquisition. This is a question that we get asked about a lot, and I'm going to make this really short and simple because that's one, all we have time for today. But two, because it is, there's a number of different ways out there. We just want to offer a couple of ideas to you. Okay. So, the follower and fan, acquisition, the fact is, it is better to have 500 actively engaged followers. Let's say you only had 500 followers on Instagram for the rest of your life, and that's it. It is better to have 500 actively engaged followers than 10,000 followers who don't know who you are, what you do, or even care. 10,000 people, the numbers don't mean that you're going to get more sales. It doesn't mean that you're going to have more engagement. Volume-wise, kind of per capita, it does increase the chances by having more people. But the key is to cultivate the relationships and cultivate the kinds of posts that are relating with people to build these actively engaged followers, to take them kind of from cold to casual to active to super fans. That's kind of the plot line of taking your customers and clients down a journey. So just remember that as you are growing your social media platforms, work on engagement and conversion, not just numbers. And so let's talk about engagement. So one of the ways that, well, actually, I think this is before engagement. One of the ways that you can grow your, we're going to talk about Facebook here for just a second. It's very easy. Facebook is one of the most natural places for people to go first with their business, to create a Facebook page. And the easiest growth strategy to pretty easily get a few hundred followers out of it is to invite your friends, your family, and your fans to like the business page and to follow it. So you can send a personal message to folks, your family, hey, just started this business page. Here's the link. Would you mind liking it? Right? You can send that to your family, friends, and fans that you have maybe on an email list. But then you can take that a step further and you can ask them to share your page with all of their friends as well to go and like it. And so this is a really easy way to just begin to see the numbers go up, which accomplishes two things. One, you're starting to get some numbers that you can actually post things to and people will actually see, at least begin that process. But the second is when you start to see a little bit of momentum, it will give you more confidence that what you're doing is worth it. The key is going to be the ongoing piece, though. Like you can post once or twice and then be done, and that's not really great. But if you can have that rhythm of execution that we talked about earlier, then that is what's going to give you that consistent engagement with folks, and then you can have that whole nurturing process. But this is just a really simple 1, 2, 3 easy way to be growing your Facebook page. There are similar strategies for Instagram and Twitter that we don't have time to go into. LinkedIn, Tim has a whole training on growing connections on LinkedIn. That's amazing. That's in a couple of weeks.
I love how simple this is, though, Corey. I mean, it can be applied to multiple platforms. And if you're getting overwhelmed, if you have an intern or somebody helping you out, this would be a good consistent approach, foundational approach to kind of get moving, right?
Yep, absolutely. So the question is, in regards to engagement, is how do businesses actually make money then from social media? The short answer, well, do I have the answer on the next slide? I can't remember. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. The short answer is engaging content and engaged business owners. So what does that mean? It means you're not going to make money right away. Sorry, just to give it to you real. The idea here is that you are posting content that people actually care about, that is actually helpful to people, that is actually addressing pain points for free. You are giving away information for free to draw people into this conversation with you, because if they can trust you and it being helped by you on a free level, that they are learning and they are growing and they're applying, then they are engaging with the content in a different part of their brain where they're actually doing something with it, that they are trusting you now, where it's going to be a lot easier to make the sale to them further down the line.
But then the second piece of this is not just in posting the engaging content. It's actually you as a business owner being engaged with interacting. So it's not I'm going to post this and I'm done, hands off. You actually got to do something. You got to facilitate. You got to be actively involved in the process of that engagement. If you want to go to the next slide, Tim, I have some of what ways to engage your followers. Folks, go ahead and take a screenshot of this as well. But here's some really easy ways for you to engage your followers and fans to continue the conversation or generate it maybe for the first time. One is, please respond to every comment. It's really easy. It doesn't take long to do. There is no reason why you wouldn't need to respond to a comment. But here's the thing, both positive and negative comments you should respond to. It actually says a lot more about your business when you ignore negative reviews or negative comments because it shows that either one, you don't care, or two, you are afraid of conflict. When really you have an opportunity to show all the people that are following you, following this post, you're showing them how you as a professional business owner handle yourself accordingly and in tough situations and good situations. You want to comment on others' posts as your business profile. You can text or send video thank yous to your new followers. There are tools out there, like one called Bonjoro, that will let you send short video messages to people. You can get a notification when somebody follows you on Instagram or sends you a message on Facebook Messenger where you can send them a personalized video reply. Cool thing that you can do. You can ask more about that later. Video thank yous to your most active followers. Ask your happy customers for reviews and recommendations, whether that's on Google or Facebook or a recommendation or endorsement on LinkedIn. Ask people for that. You can start a referral program, which 10% of your marketing budget should be to reward those that are referring people to you. That's a way to engage with them. A loyalty program for repeat customers and clients, right? That's a really easy one to do when you're a food establishment or a coffee shop, is that loyalty. You can also optimize your Facebook Messenger to engage with new visitors and followers automatically, so they can go onto the page. They're going to ask a question like, what are your hours? What is your location? You can actually have Facebook Messenger respond to them automatically. So that way you don't have this pressure of having to answer every single one of those. You can fill it with some common answers to common questions. So those are just some ways to engage your folks that are following you. And now we want to tell you about a couple of tools. And I know we're going fast here. So feel free to drop those questions in the comments, and we're gonna go through them in a little bit. But some tools, right? So social media platforms. There's a bajillion out there, and there are more coming. The key though is to start with 2 and dominate those. Don't worry about trying to be on every single platform because you're going to stress yourself out. Start with the 2 in particular that you are the most comfortable with. Whatever it is that you naturally gravitate towards, whether that's Facebook and TikTok or YouTube and Nextdoor or Quora and Twitter, whatever it is, start with the 2 that you're the most comfortable with and just nail it with the content that you're producing there. Because that is going to help you get your feet wet. It's going to help you develop that clarity, that creativity, that consistency, and then begin adding as it makes sense to do so. So I'd love to hear what some of your favorite platforms are in the chat box. If you want to go ahead and drop those in there, let me know what you are on. I'll tell you what I'm on personally. I love using Facebook and Instagram. And I use LinkedIn occasionally as well. Well, more than occasionally, but Facebook and Instagram is where I live a lot. And Facebook Messenger. Facebook and Messenger are kind of tied together. That's where I'm at. Where are you at, Tim? Mostly on social media platforms.
I'd say LinkedIn.
It's like your second home.
Yeah, LinkedIn and Facebook for sure. I'm actually starting to get more intrigued with TikTok recently. Yeah. And just learning more. Nextdoor to help local businesses. I like to stay active and just kind of spread the love there locally for local companies. But LinkedIn, Facebook are my happy places for sure.
Awesome. So Answer the Public, this is the tool that I mentioned earlier that will give you, and I really call it the best kept secret for coming up with topics for marketing, because you can type in, whatever your keyword is. And remember when I was talking about the Facebook groups and you search for phrases like, how do I, what do I, which is the why, right? This will give you all those kinds of questions that people are asking as Google searches. Related to your keyword. And so it's a really, really great way to get dozens and dozens and dozens. I mean, I'm talking 60 to 75 easily minimum every keyword that you type in to come up with topic ideas of things to address. Really powerful tool. It is free. Please use this. This is going to take your content to the next level because it's going to be relevant to what people in real time via Google are searching for related to what it is that you are offering.
And this doesn't have to be, multi-billion-dollar industries. It could be a niche within a niche for your particular industry, right, Corey?
The more niche you are, the better this tool is for you, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because, so financial, right? If you typed in financial as a keyword, there are so many things out there, but maybe you are a specific industry. So Primerica, for example, or Thrivent, something like that. You could type those in as keywords and see what people are asking about those.
I see. So it could be really any topic and then just the conversations and the questions around those.
Exactly. Okay. Yep. Canva, this is an awesome tool that is an online graphic design creator, editor. You can download it as an app on your phone. You can do it on the computer. It is a free one as well, a free tool that lets you use templates that they provide, hundreds of templates, if not thousands, to create eye-catching, visual, colorful, impactful graphics for events that you're doing or quotes that you want to post or infographics, just anything that is graphic related to help supplement your posts. This is a great tool to use. There are paid upgrade options as well if you want to start using them for printing out like as flyers or posters or whatever it may be. But the free version will be more than enough for your social media needs.
The integration and the development of Canva right now is pretty insane.
Say that again.
The integration and the ongoing development of Canva is starting to get... Yeah.
Adapting, adding. There are tools out there. We're going to talk about one in a second that integrate Canva directly into it. That's pretty cool. So Crowdfire, this is a social media scheduler. So if you're listening to all of this and you're like, gosh, I do not know how the heck I'm going to remember to post something regularly or know what to post. Well, Crowdfire is going to be a great way to get your feet wet with that because it will schedule out posts for you, 10 posts at a time. In the free version that will let you post to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and a couple other social media platforms out there that you can literally have a post all at the same time at a time of your choosing. And so this is a great way to kind of get ahead of the curve and get ahead of the game, a few days and be able to get content scheduled to reduce that pressure off of you. And folks, this will literally save you hours during the week if you begin to use a tool like Crowdfire. There's a number of them out there. Hootsuite, Buffer, this one called Social Bee. There's a number of them out there that are really great tools, but this is definitely something you want to look into to begin this process of scheduling things out. The second tool that is a social media scheduler is called Cloud Campaign, and this is what what I use in my personal business, what we're getting ready to integrate into everything with Giver Marketing. Cloud Campaign is when you're ready to take your social media strategy to the next level and get real serious. Even if you're just a solopreneur, here's a one-man show, one woman show. If you are ready to say, I want to make this thing happen, this will let you, it actually has Canva built into it. That will let you create posts and you can create content. You can auto schedule. So you can create the content and drag it onto a calendar like you see here, and it will auto schedule it to a time on a day you're choosing, to a time when people are interacting with your social media pages the most. So this analyzes Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google My Business, Instagram, and YouTube. You can post to all of these. And it will analyze when your followers and fans are actually engaging with you, whether that's 2 a.m. in the morning or 6 p.m. in the evening, whatever it is. It can actually auto schedule based on when people are interacting.
Wait a minute, you just said Google My Business. You had me at Google My Business because there's not a lot. There's not a lot of these schedulers that'll do that, right?
Yep. And that's an important one. Vicky, who's on the call today, Visibility Vicky, we call her. She is the Google guru, and she's always encouraging people to make sure that their Google My Business profiles are up to date. It even exists because they're free. And there's a number of things that you can do with those. And posting to them. This is something that I actually didn't even know about until I met Vicky a little over a year ago. On that you can actually post to them like you would other social media platforms that are really valuable for SEO purposes. You can engagements on them and everything too a little bit. Vicky, I'm just going to keep talking here just because of interest in time. Otherwise, I would have had you talk a little bit.
No.
But anyways, so Cloud Campaign, if you want to take your social media strategy to the next level, scheduling things out, there is a cost associated with it, which we can talk more about that you can get through us directly. But anyways, another tool is Hashtagify. A lot of people ask about the importance and use case of hashtags. Hashtags are basically keywords that people search for on social media channels. In particular, Instagram and Twitter is where those are really effective. On Facebook, they're more of just eye candy, I guess you could say, or they're not really used for much for search purposes on Facebook. But on Instagram and Twitter, people actually search for services and products using hashtags. So it's important to use ones that are relevant to people being able to find you. Branded hashtags, things that have your business, those are good to tag your posts so that you can go back and look at them later, or somebody could click on it and see all of your posts that are using that branded hashtags. But just remember, people are not going to search for your branded hashtags because they don't know what they are. You want to use a tool like Hashtagify to help you find relevant keyword hashtags to your industry or your service. That is really helpful to put on those posts. People ask me, what's a good amount to use? Everything I've heard, it's always changing. Right now, I would say that 5 hashtags on Instagram is a good place to live with 3 to 5. But then the other side of it is actually 30, which sounds crazy. But I've been following some Instagram people that have a lot of followers, and that's one of the things that they're talking about right now. So Hashtagify will help you with that immensely. And this is a little bonus that we've got for you today that is basically a 10 tips to refresh your social media profiles list. And there's 10 things that you can do. We're going into the summer now that at the time of this recording that you can update everything you've got to make sure it is relevant to what you're trying to do, relevant to your messaging, to your brand. As a bonus, now you can take a screenshot of this, or if you send me an email, and I'll pop it into the chat right now, CoreyM@givermarketing.com. We have a checkable interactive PDF version of this that we can send to you via email that I'm happy to send to you, where there you can have it, and then as you go through, you can actually check it off. Kind of a cool little thing. This is just a little bonus for y'all for watching with us today, to say thank you, to help you get your profiles consistent, and just help you take your social media game to the next level here as we enter the summer. Tim, why don't you talk about this referral ping pong here as we wrap up today?
Well, you talked about referrals being a good portion of your marketing budget as far as your resources, and we've been experimenting with something, and we're actually building out some domains and some different things around referral ping pong. It's an extraordinarily simple but powerful way to get you business like right away, like very quickly. And the way it works is it's basically exchanging referrals with your power partners, your associates, your team members in a way that gives a kind of a quid pro quo or a reciprocation. For every referral you send, you ask them to give you a referral within 3 days so that you can play referral ping pong, and the game continues until somebody doesn't come up with a referral or they drop the ball, if you will. And so we're finding this to be extremely simple, very powerful. I must have received maybe 20 referrals in the last 20 days based on this game, just with a handful of people. So it's very powerful. It's something we're going to be implementing more. And reciprocation is the name of the game in business. Look, if it's a one-way street, then it's not a power partnership. That's either you're taking advantage of somebody or you're giving without any kind of reciprocation. So we want to build out this kind of give, receive, give, receive, give, receive kind of rhythm. And we find that referral ping pong or introduction ping pong is another way to consider it as well. So yeah, that's something that's been, Corey, you and I have been doing this for years and years and years and years, just because of our friendship. But if you can build in this with your power partnerships, that's a big deal.